This morning, I've done something differently compared to all my other photography trips. Instead of getting up and out nice and early, chasing a sunrise that might never happen, driving an hour, 2 hours away from home, I've instead decided to go out for a walk, chasing a sunrise that might never happen. After all, the amount of times that we, especially me, will travel an hour or further to find some decent photography locations, the amount of times we'll go back to the same photography spots that others have captured long before us and many times after us as well, when in reality there's so many amazing landscapes that are potentially right on our doorstep. For this morning's sunrise, I've walked out to a spot where the countryside meets civilization. This might be a scene that doesn't particularly work, but as I always like to say, it's better to take the risk and try something that might not work rather than never taking the risk at all. I'd like to think the settings for this sunrise shot are simple, but it's not the case. ISO 100 because I'm on the tripod, f8 for the aperture, get everything nice and sharp. Because of this morning light though, I'm going to need to take 5 shots, so I've got as much data to play with the highlights and the shadows back home in post. First shot I'm going to be taking at 1 second. Next shot, half a second. Then it'll be at 1/6 of a second. Going to 1/13 of a second. And then finally 1/25 of a second. 2-second timer just to make sure there's no camera shake. Let's see how this actual image turns out. Okay, so unsurprisingly, I don't think that is going to be my favourite sunrise in 2026. Not a cloud in the sky, so that image is going to be purely relying on the beautiful colour that you get for sunrise. Absolutely no texture in the sky, and that lack of cloud is making it really cold today, a whopping -3 degrees out today. I was actually tempted as a result not to come out at all, but I think this is going to be my last chance to do some photography, my last chance to get out with the camera in a couple of months, if I'm being honest. I even mentioned it at the back end of last year, and to be honest, you might have noticed my recent videos how they've not always belayed the season that we're currently in. Take the recent video that I produced of me going out to Bodiam Castle. Lovely trip that one was. A lovely misty morning. However, the season, it looks a little bit more autumnal than winter. Well, that's because it was shot in autumn. It was shot last November, actually, that video. You see, the reason for me doing that is in the next week or so, I'm going to be undergoing very minor surgery. And as part of that, I am under very strict instructions from my surgeon not to get out and do any activity such as this for at least 6 weeks afterwards. My one hope, my one disappointment will be if I'm not fit and healthy, if I can't get back out with the camera, if I can't get back out doing some photography around the springtime, when those beautiful bluebells and that beautiful wild garlic comes into bloom. If I miss that season, yeah, I'm going to be a bit disappointed. Just like I said at the start of the video though, this is a great way to get out and explore a part of the countryside, a part of the landscape that you maybe take for granted. Being on your doorstep, you might think what you've got around you is overrated. And to add to that, it's also it's quite a fun little challenge. Of course, if you limit yourself to going out, seeing what you can find that's around 10 minutes from your home, you never know, you might be surprised what you come across. So it's been a few days, it's actually been a few days since I got out for that little initial wander with the camera. I decided to cut that long strip short because it just got too cold for my liking. I mean, it didn't help. I had actually forgotten my gloves, and it's true what they say, if you go out with not enough layers on, it can ruin your enjoyment. It can stifle your creativity because you're too focused on trying to keep warm. But also because it was so cold, I thought to myself, is it going to snow? Is this whole landscape going to turn into some winter wonderland? And the answer, no, it has not snowed. Quite the opposite, in fact. It's actually warmed up, which, whilst that's a good thing, we've also had a lot of rainfall these last couple of days, which is making walking across these here fields rather hazardous. It's a tad disappointing, actually, living here in the southeast of England, at least this part. I've been here 11 years now, and in that time it's snowed about 3 times. It's also a little bit hilly around here. So if it did snow, I don't think I'd want to take the car out, because whilst it's not hilly like the Lake District, if it does snow in these parts, we're not prepared for it. So the roads are going to be an absolute nightmare to drive on. Ironically though, the last time I came out to this part of the countryside was the last time it snowed about 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't want to drive anywhere, so I walked out with the camera, hoping to see what I could find in those snowy conditions. And I got some beautiful, like I say, winter wonderland shots. I've got the evidence back home of some lovely wintry shots. So I know what makes it worse is the fact that I know how beautiful even the landscape around here can be when we get a little bit of snowfall. Time to start heading home, I think. A nice short morning out with the camera today in what is my last opportunity to get out. Hopefully won't be gone too long, 6 weeks recovery, and then I can get back out doing what it is that I love. For now though, I will see you soon. At least I hope so.